This is the Prepper's Bunker, and today the Schrade Schf43 Jessica X from Chris Tanner of the Prepared Mind will take on all its predecessor Beckers. The Schrade Schf43 or Jessica X features a 9-inch blade and an 8.5-inch handle made of 1095 high carbon steel. The overall knife weight is 28 ounces and the country of origin is China. This blade was designed by Chris Tanner. Chris drew on inspiration that he had gotten from the Becker line of knives, which was very influential in his knife reviews and his YouTube personality. It'll be interesting to see how this knife performs when put against the knives that it was inspired by. The Becker BK9 is a knife that needs little introduction. Designed by Ethan Becker, this knife is not necessarily the incredible chopper that it has the reputation for, not necessarily the incredible batoner that it has a reputation for, but I think what Ethan was going for with this knife was a great all-around blade, and I think that you can see some of the inspiration that Chris Tanner drew from this knife and others when he created the Jessica X, and with good reason. Many people have been inspired by this blade because it's such a great all-around blade. The blade length is 9 inches. The handle is 5 3/4 inches. And the weight is 17.1 ounces. It's made in the USA out of 1095 Crowvan steel. The Becker BK4 Match Axe has a blade length of 9 3/8 inch, again a handle of 5 3/4 inch, a blade thickness of 3/16 of an inch. It's made of 1095 Crowvan. It weighs 15.6 ounces and is made in the USA. This is one of Ethan's earlier Becker designs, and it was designed to be an overall utility and survival blade with the kukri-esque shape, but hasn't necessarily caught on too well, maybe because of said shape, but it has become somewhat of a cult classic. Alright guys, the Becker BK21 Reinhardt Kukri. This was a collaboration between Ethan Becker and Hank Reinhardt. The blade length is 13 1/4 inches. Again, the handle is 5 3/4 inches. The knife is made in the USA out of 1095 Crowvan. The thickness is 3/16 of an inch, and the weight is 1.4 pounds. This knife has been pulled out of the mothballs. It was originally offered by Becker a long time ago, and it's back and it's popular. Interestingly enough, it's almost the same size as the Jessica X, so we'll see how the two compete. First up, let's have some fun with the Jessica X. Next up, the BK21 RBK. Next up, the Becker BK4 match axe. Next up, the Becker BK9 Combat Bowie. Alright guys, the table of destruction has been created. Now it's time for the scientific stuff. Stick around, and in the next episode of the series, we will control as many variables as possible and see how these knives stack up when it comes to chopping in a controlled environment. Stick around, please comment and subscribe. Have a great day.